I'm Keisha, and today I'm going to show you our rules engine with Cloudflare deployment, a new way to use Fingerprint for making real-time decisions about traffic to your website. Fingerprint helps you identify browsers and devices with high accuracy, and our rules engine builds on that by making it much easier to turn those signals into clear actions, such as blocking or allowing activity, without requiring you to even touch your application's code. By the end of this demo, you'll see how teams can go from insight to enforcement in just a few clicks. Now, if you think about the traditional methods for implementing Fingerprint, before our new rules engine, that meant working directly with our APIs, writing code, and modifying your infrastructure. Now, that approach gives teams a lot of flexibility and control, but it also includes a lot of moving parts. It means choosing the right configuration for the JavaScript agent or CDN or NPM package, understanding loaders, regions, and endpoint configurations, managing multiple API keys and rotating them, public keys, secret keys, debugging ad blocker issues, setting up custom subdomains or proxy integrations, and doing all that with security teams and reviews and coordinating infrastructure changes, getting approvals, etc. Every policy change to your fraud strategy meant touching your application's code, and fraud and risk teams often have to wait for engineers to ship those changes. While Fingerprint has always delivered detailed, highly accurate data about browsers and devices, our new rules engine adds a much faster path from that raw data to real action. With the new rules engine, there are no code changes to your website. There's no new deployments. All that enforcement moves to a UI in the Fingerprint dashboard. Now fraud teams can create and update rules themselves at a moment's notice whenever they notice a new fraud trend. Now, in a moment, I'll show you how to protect a sign-up page without ever touching the app's code or making a pull request. But first, let's talk about how it works. Now, normally, if you think about a sign-up page, when a user clicks sign up, they enter their information, they click sign up, a request is sent to some API endpoint. Let's say it's /API/sign up. Then that gets sent to your backend where a new user is created. With our new rules engine, with the Cloudflare deployment specifically, you can set a rule set with all kinds of different blocking and allowing rules, and we'll deploy them to your site for you. Once configured, the Fingerprint JavaScript agent gets automatically injected into your site through Cloudflare. So there's no need to change your code or update any assets. When a user hits one of your protected APIs, like /signup, the injected agent collects all the necessary signals and attaches them to the request. All that happens transparently and happens behind the scenes like normal. Instead of going directly to your backend, those signals, along with the request, are sent to Fingerprint to identify the visitor and generate smart signals. At the same time, the rules engine then evaluates your rule set based on those signals and decides what actions to take, like allowing or blocking. The outcome of those rules is then sent as a response from your API. So if it was blocked, you get a full block message. Otherwise, it goes back to your API like normal. Now, the only setup that's required is the configuration in the Fingerprint dashboard, right? So all of this is controlled within the UI. When you save it, we automatically create a Cloudflare worker in your account and deploy it. From there, everything runs continuously without any additional code changes, no new deployments, or extra client-side scripts. Now, our rules engine can currently only be deployed to websites hosted on Cloudflare, but we'll be expanding it to other cloud services soon enough. Okay, enough talking, enough slides. Let's see it in action with a demo. All right, so here we have a basic sign-up page, and I'm actually going to show the network tab here as well. And if I go ahead and sign up, you'll see that we're sending a request to this API/demo/signup endpoint, and the payload is just the email and the password being sent. Okay, normal, the account gets created successfully, all is good. All right, Now, at this point, what I'm going to do is actually add to this the Fingerprint Rules Engine. I'm going to create a brand new rule, and we're going to show you how this works all in real time without any code changes. All right, so let me hop over to my Fingerprint dashboard, and we're going to create a new rule set. Now, just for demonstration purposes, let's make it easy. I'm going to add a rule that says if incognito mode is detected, we're going to block the request, right? So here we can say block the response. It's going to send a 403 forbidden status. And I'm going to include here a additional property called success. Set that to false. And we can keep, block by rule, that's fine. Keep that there. And that's about it. Of course, you can go through, you can add additional conditions, you can add them as different groups. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and just save my rules. Let's call it, we can keep it as my first rule set, that's fine. And at this point, nothing has been deployed, nothing is enabled. We've just created this set of rules. To actually deploy it to the website now, we're going to add this Cloudflare deployment. So you can see it says not connected. We're going to add that. Okay, so you're going to need a couple things to get this going. You'll, of course, need some information from Cloudflare in order for us to create the worker and do the script injection. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over now to my Cloudflare account. And let's see, we're going to grab my account ID. We'll come back and just add that as the input. Now you'll see that we need a token with some specific permissions. If we click on this button to get the token, this will pop out to our documentation page. And from here, you can see a really easy way to get yourself the actual token. So there's a link here. It says you need to get or create a Cloudflare token. Clicking on that link will take you to the dashboard, and it pre-fills all of the permissions that you need. So you don't even need to touch anything on this page. If you want to make some tweaks, that's fine, but all of the things that are needed for this are set up for you. I'll go ahead and continue. I'll create the token, and I'm going to go ahead and copy that token, and I can close this page and go back to our dashboard. I'll add the token, validate, make sure we're all good. Okay, now that we're set and the credentials are valid, I can go ahead and set a protection on that sign up page. So the website is fbstudios.dev and the page is demo/signup. And then the API endpoint is API/demo/signup. And we can click on create Cloudflare worker. And this is going to create that worker on your behalf using that token, and it'll deploy it. And we can see that the deployment was created successfully. And that's it. That's all you have to do. From here on out, any visitor that's coming from an incognito window will be blocked. So let's see it. Let's try it out. Okay, let's take a look. So we have our original page. This is now open in incognito, as you can see. And let's do the same thing. We're going to create a new account. I'll click on sign up. And we can see blocked by rule, right? There we go. So instantly, no code changes. I was able to create a rule set in the Fingerprint dashboard. And instantly, I can now start protecting my sign up pages or any other pages as well. And like I mentioned before, you can do a lot more complex things than just this example. Let's say, for example, I want to allow a specific visitor ID. So back into this list, again, you see all these signals that we have that you can use to create your own set of custom rules. In this case, I'm going to click on visitor ID just for a demo. And let me move this up a bit. And we'll say if the visitor ID equals this is my current visitor ID here on this device, we're going to actually just allow that visitor in. So even though later on, if we say incognito, we'll exit here with an allow if this visitor matches this visitor ID. So I'm going to hit save. And we can see that that rule set has been saved and successfully deployed. All right, so let's try it now with this new rule for the visitor ID. I am still in incognito here. Let's enter the email and a password. And there we go. My account was created successfully because that rule allows my visitor ID to go through. And that's about it. That's as easy as it gets. It's all very simple, just some easy inputs in the UI. And now any fraud or risk teams can go through and make changes as they wish. With the traditional way, you had to change and ship code, you had to update and change your infrastructure, and you had to do a lot of coordinating across different teams, whether it was security or engineering or fraud. But with our new rules engine, with the cloud deployment, you can do all of that with just a few clicks in your dashboard. You can block things like bots, VPNs, virtual machines, etc., almost with an immediate effect, and fraud teams can control that enforcement without having to go to engineering every single time. Now, coming up soon, we will be adding some more cloud services. We also will have some custom outcomes from those rules. There's also going to be some templates to kind of help give some guidance on what signals to use to allow and block different actions. And also, we can actually use the rule set even if you don't have Cloudflare today. You can use it in agnostic mode where you're able to create those rules for allowing and blocking, and then you just receive the outputs from our server API. Now, Fingerprint gives you detailed, reliable visitor identification, and our new rules engine with the Cloudflare deployments just makes it easy to use that data in real time, right where the requests are handled, with just a few clicks. If you want to see how you can move from insight to action without slowing down your workflow, sign up for a free trial and check out our rules engine today.